So Aloha, pretty much it's a bullshit. Like this, they sell you Aloha when you're here for a couple of weeks. That has nothing to do with living here. So living here. Hi. There are a few reasons why I'm leaving Hawaii. Aloha paradise. I'm gonna start with the positive stuff because I don't want to keep that view necessarily negative. Alright, first positive thing, endless summer. You're always gonna wear your sleep-ups all the time. That's awesome. Another thing is the beach. You can go to the beach 10, 11 months a year, every day if you want. Then you can go to the mountain and hike. That's amazing. Then I fall in love. What? I made some friends. There were some friends around here. Yes, this is really good. Why are you leaving?
No money.
No money, no honey.
No job.
No job.
I'm not allowed to go outside. In a beautiful location. Feel like an outcast.
Why? How about Aloha? Isn't Aloha spirit make you feel like amazing?
The Hawaiians are very kind. Except for when you bump their car, you open the door.
10 reasons why you're leaving Hawaii.
Money, desolation, community, or lack thereof.
Do you like the housing?
Not the housing, the
How is the
rental
housing
market.
situations?
Hard. Very hard to get a house here, and you're paying an outrageous amount of money for very little space. But I didn't realize it would be so difficult getting into a house without roommates and all that.
The housing situation. Complete nonsense here. Definitely overdeveloped. Like the area, there's so many houses and people live really close to each other. Therefore, there's not enough room since we're on the little island. Honolulu is located on Oahu and it has about 1 million people population on like 7 by 30 miles, and everything is like situated in this little town. Tall building, high rises, infrastructure, complete nonsense. Like you drive on the highway, sometimes there's an exit but there's no way to come back. Like you gotta drive another like 2 miles down the road in order to go back to the highway. Work. So there are only so many jobs for a few people, and a lot of the people here are transitioning, which creates several problems. Like you should know that. Why didn't you buy a house?
Because they're over $1 million. And the Big Island is a pretty scary place to be. Not a place that I would want to raise any kids. Feel safe. Lots of drugs. Lots of homelessness.
How about the government? The government should be great here, right? Should be pretty laid back.
No, not at all.
Why? What's going on?
They want to test us, force us to do things that's against human rights. And we should be allowed to walk outside, go to the ocean, sit on the beach.
What good did you see in Hawaii?
I could go to the ocean every day if I wanted. Well, I can't anymore because you're not allowed to go to the beach.
The mountain.
I liked the mountains, the jungle.
You got married here.
I got married here. That was pretty awesome.
So
I don't like that you can't bicycle around. I don't really care for the engineering of the roads. It's a difficult city to figure out, very congested traffic.
so bad infrastructure. Yeah.
Bad infrastructure. I really liked the North Shore. It was nice being here with no tourists. Good place for that during quarantine. But yeah, I haven't really been able to freely
since it has been hard for everyone around with Corona and with precautions, you know. But Hawaii turns out to be one of the strictest of all states in terms of measures with coronavirus. And at the same time, it was the most nonsense that I've ever seen in my life, government-wise. Most people are coming here for 2 years, 2 to 3 years. They try, they lose all their money, they got fed up, and then leave. Therefore, making friends, it's really hard. I found that a lot of people here feel lonely since their friends have left and left and left and left, so they close themselves, and it's you know, it's a tough situation to actually open up and expose and, you know, feel empathy. It's tough to make friends here, for sure. The transitioning creates another problem. It creates a lot of shark-minded people, a lot of greed that's here on this island. Like the whole economy is based on to those tourists that are coming. Usually they used to be between 8 and 9 millions. Now they're like a little less. But so this whole economy is based to suck the money from these people. And what do you witness after being here for a while is that all the jobs, or most of the jobs, most of the opportunities for you are really low paid. Like they'll pay $10 to $15 an hour for most jobs. So what happened in my case is you come in, you have certain amount of money and a lot of energy bringing in, you have a lot of expectations about this Aloha that they sell you, the Aloha lifestyle, and so on, but that turns out to be like, so Aloha pretty much it's a bullshit. Like this, they sell you Aloha when you're here for a couple of weeks. That has nothing to do with living here. So living here will create this whole nother vibration and a whole nother universe that you gotta live in and deal with. One of the most important reasons for me, low vibrations. So a lot of the people are operating on really low vibration here. Therefore, if you're an emotional person who if you like to express yourself, and if you like to be vocal and expect people to be in a similar way, that doesn't exist here. So people are very small-minded. It's maybe is an island mentality. Maybe it's just like the desolation from the world. You know, you're 3,000 miles away from everything. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. And you should know that, you know, endless summer, going to the beach, you just get used to it. You know, in a year and a half, in 2 years, you just, you know, it's part of the day, so you don't appreciate it as much, I guess. But that alone doesn't, you know, it's not a reason to keep you here. You really gotta have a solid job, and you really gotta be armed with a lot of patience to deal with that. So another thing about the shark mentality, there are a lot of people who are trying to screw you here, trick you in a sleazy way, to go around the rules. I've had a couple of situations that a guy came to live in the house that I used to manage, and I was dealing with the landlord, trying to find new roommates in order to keep that house of cards. And a person took advantage of us. Like the landlord wasn't responding as quick as he was supposed to, and therefore the guy just stayed for a month, didn't pay a penny, and left. So, you know, showered and just moved in and had all of his stuff, and in the most sleazy way he just like moved out and said nothing. Then there was this other dude who was just he lived for 3 months during Corona without paying any rent, and that created like such a tension. Even though the rest of the roommates, 5 or 6, you know, they were pretty conscious and straightforward, but this dude just ruined it for all of us, and the landlord kicked us out. Like, the entire house is empty right now. It's been empty for 3 months, so he rather keep it empty than taking rent from 5 people. But yeah, another dude, like, I was selling my moped and I didn't find the papers, so I tried to cancel the transaction, but he insists. He was just like, yeah, give me the moped when you come back next week. I was about to travel to the Big Island. I'll give you the moped back. And then he said, now you gotta give me $150 more if you want to get your moped back, even though I had the paperwork and extra keys. But it's just this low vibration going around, and a lot of people who like just try to trick you. You gotta be mindful of that. Like, Hawaii is notorious for their thieves. Like, there are thieves everywhere. They'll break into your car, get your CD or like whatever. So a very, very small insignificant things that you would never thought of are actually happening, because that's the way it is. It's a struggle, and this economy created like, most of the people are kind of slaves here to their dreams, slaves to the Aloha lifestyle, whatever. They're really low paid, the housing is expensive, you live in such a conditions, and it's just like you really hustle. Like, a lot of people are hustlers, I guess, just to survive around. That's the reality of it. Society, it's a very divided society of a lot of small groups, a lot of minorities, and there's a tension. There's a little tension since Hawaii has been taken unlawfully by the government, whatever. So there are a bunch of the locals who are thinking there's the Hawaiian kingdom and this is ours and we gotta take it back, so we hate these and these people who are coming here to take our jobs, blah 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 blah. So there's a lot of tension, and you can feel it. You can feel it if you live here. You can feel yeah, by looking for housing, this is where you actually might feel racism against yourself. Depends who you are and where you go, but it's like, it's extremely hard to be on the real estate market. Yeah, it's just, it's sad. It's sad that they completely ruined that beautiful spot. That, and you have your neighbors 10 feet away from each other. From each side there's another house, and it's just, as I said, it's so overpopulated and overbuilt that, like, they'll literally have house anywhere as possible. And like buying a house on Oahu or even in Maui, it's like, it's extremely expensive. And then you have the Big Island and Kauai as options, which are completely different energy. That's like, the Big Island is like a ghetto. Like, there's so many drug addicts. They're like human trafficking mob scheme going on. They're like children being kidnapped all the time. And you should know that it's unlike the US. Like, the cops and this whole system here, the government is very corrupt. A different way, this whole human trafficking thing, but you know, it's real. And of course, no one talks about it, but we went there. We tried to buy a house near like Pahoa, which is like the ghetto of the ghetto state. So it's like, it's impossible. It's just, if you want to live here, you're gonna be vigilant, and you gotta fight for your freedom and piece of land at all times. There she is. 3 hours till the flight. Leaving Hawaii forever and ever. Why? Why would you leave Hawaii? Bittersweet taste. Honestly, it's a bittersweet taste. After the first quarantine, that was like a huge hit on all the small businesses, as we are. And then they imply a second quarantine, which I believe is the only state in the States that did that. The second quarantine was something like that. You're not allowed to go in the parks, the beaches, or the hikes, but you can go to the mall and you can go to the gym. So indoor was open, outside was closed, which make no sense, I know. Then they said no, actually it will be stay-at-home order, so everything is gonna be closed. They closed again for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks they're like, we're gonna extend the 2 weeks quarantine with another 2 weeks, but this time you can hike or go to the beach only by yourself, solo, which is kind of dangerous, you know. Swimming by yourself, the beach is closed, you can be in the water, you cannot be on the beach. And then if they see you closer than 6-7 feet with somebody on the hike, they'll give you a ticket. And in like a month, in the past month, the police has issued 44,000 citations and hundreds of arrests just because of that order that they made. Complete nonsense, and a lot of people will be arrested for not going to court, since they're like changing the orders every 2 weeks and the rules. And as you can see, a lot of the rules don't really make sense, but it is what it is. It feels like very restricted, and they definitely broken the Aloha spirit big time. So yeah, no thanks. Hawaii is too much at this point.